interest in everything open source, particularly because I read the benefits of using open source in terms of tools and frameworks and languages or operating systems on a day-to-day basis. I'm actually make a living out of doing that in conjunction with commercial software. So I'll be involved in open source as much as I can.
My name is Ronnie Barth. I currently work for Decision Research. Database is Oracle.
Hello, my name is Henry Pang. I'm a value-added reseller. I'm here trying to keep an open mind what open source is about, and at least when we do make recommendations, to give them the best solution possible.
Aloha.
Aloha.
A little slow on the draw there, weren't we? I'm Courtney Brown, and I want to thank you for being here. I came here because the announcement says tech in our schools, and I wanted to find out about what the state of technology is in our schools along the way. I also want to let you know that we do this on the first 2 Tuesdays of the month. The first Tuesday is Cyber Pizza, and the second Tuesday is Electronic Pizza. We deal with techie subjects and other things. Same kind of forum, 6 o'clock in the evening, speakers or panels, as the case may be, and then pizza and soft drink afterwards. And with that, the man of the hour.
Thank you, Courtney. Man of the hour, I do not know. But how many of you in here know what a tech coordinator is? How many of you believe that every campus has an individual hired to manage technology and the integration of technology and curricula on every campus? Okay, so that was a really kind of a loaded question. We have a lot of people in this audience who are using, employees or yourselves are using what education you have in programming and whatever field of high tech. So we got it made. I mean, here I'm telling you, we run a nonprofit. We're called HOSEF. We got 400 or 500 computers. I run free classes every Saturday. So really all we got to do is just drop off computers in our schools and we're done, right? We get 1-to-1 computer ratio by the end of the year because it's just as simple as taking what we already have and free software and dropping it off. But there's a problem. But there's a problem. But there's a problem, in my opinion. And that's why I'm going to get out of the way in a second and let these folks kind of give you their own perspective. At any given campus, the way technology works is like this. I'm the principal and I'm walking by and Ron's talking. Yeah, I installed Windows once for my mom. Ron, hey. Listen, a tech coordinator just went on maternity leave, and I'm hoping that maybe you could become tech coordinator for the campus. You're now in charge of and you're all the teachers at my school. You all need computers in your classroom. Guess what you go to now? Ron. But see, Ron's an English major. Ron's education is to teach English, and Ron, I still need you to teach that English class first period. But hey, you all need computers, talk to Ron. He'll take care of you, he's tech coordinator. Now, did I exaggerate here? Okay. A smidgen of exaggeration, but essentially the point being that in our schools, whether they be necessary or not, the person in charge of technology is not hired based on a job description. It's not a classified state position. It's a position that exists at the will of the principal. If he or she deems it necessary, he or she will take a teaching position. So, I for one find this to be a challenge because I got so many computers. And every Saturday I'm at McKinley saying, hey, if I'm giving you a free computer lab, I'll teach you for free. What vendor in this world does that? But you know what? I still got more computers than I can give away. And I still read day in and day out about the problems in our schools. Losing the competitive edge with China and India and every other hyped up headline you want to read. So I'm trying to figure it out. And the way we can best figure it out is for you all to learn from these people here. And then when you leave here, go tell 5 people what you've learned, good or bad. That's your commitment to us tonight. And to yourselves, and to your school, and to your children. Go tell 5 people what you've learned tonight. Because see, tonight I've asked a few people for good reasons to be here. You're going to hear from Joseph. Joseph has got kids in school. He volunteers with HOSEF because he wants to make a difference. He's seen as a tech coordinator, the challenge within an administration. He's seen as a parent, the obstacles at times to wanting to help schools. We have Ted Conamori, the epitome of any great volunteer that any community would want to have. But the school that he volunteers time at and works at some is lucky to have him. He's not part of any plan. He just kind of showed up and he's a blessing. He can give you some of the most honest perspective about what it's like to be a tech coordinator or a volunteer in a school. But he's just a blessing. He's not on paper. He's not a part of any strategic plan. He's just a guy who decided to help. Scott Folk, tech coordinator, first year, Kailua Intermediate. Came out of the private sector. He's a programmer. He's a programmer. I can't even fathom. But he's got those skills. And for some reason, he decided to go into the education system and spend 3 years being certified as a teacher. And he can give you some interesting perspective. Derek, the epitome of the science teacher that you want in your school. Because he said, you know what, we don't have computers, we don't have money. What's this group, HOSEF? Yeah, you got computers, bring them on. You need me to cable the classroom? I get the kids cable the classroom. You want to meet me on Saturday? I'll meet you on Saturday. But you don't put that in a job description, you don't compensate. You just hope you get that in some science teacher and he's an anomaly. But he symbolizes what we want in our classrooms. A long, long time ago, before HOSEF officially existed, there were people like Peter Nakashima here from the Holiko Elementary who said, I gotta do whatever it takes to help my kids. So, hey, UH student who wants to bring in this Linux thin client lab, bring it on, let's work it out. The very first Linux lab in education has been at Peter's school. I'd venture to say one of the 15 or 20 in America was at Peter's school. Because he said, I'll figure it out, let's go for it. Sherry Ryan, Kaneohe Elementary. To me, the epitome of what happens when you just focus on the kids and, hey, you got some computers for me? Great. Let me focus on the kids. Let me focus on the kids. Let me be smart enough to know that the issues with dysfunctional adults is just that, issues. So let me focus on the kids. Great stories of children whose lives have been changed by computers that weren't budgeted or brought there for any other reason than some fella named Jeff who's active duty with the Air Force decides that he cares enough to make a difference. That's who these people are. They have interesting perspectives. Each one is going to tell you in their own words a little something about what it means to be a tech coordinator, a volunteer, a parent. Give them a few minutes to say what they want to say. And then we'll figure out what questions to ask. I'll think of some questions that none of you do. Now when I pass this mic to Joseph, I'm going to work my way politely through here. If you want to eat that pizza, you hadn't given me $7 already. We'll do the transaction, we'll do it quietly, bring in the pie. But let's start figuring out what we can collectively do to learn about what's going on and make a difference.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm Joe.
Hi, Joe.
And I got to kind of introduce myself in the way of my background. I am a parent, and I have 2 children, one currently in 8th grade and one in 9th grade, and my oldest son is at the University of California, Long Beach. He went to Punahou, he went to a private school, my other 2 are in public school, and that's why I'm very concerned about their education. I also see this as a tech coordinator because I spent a year as a tech coordinator at Kalihi Elementary. Been a firefighter for 27 years. And that's what allowed me to be a part-time tech coordinator because the schools didn't have enough money for the full-time tech coordinator, so they eliminated his position and got a firefighter to do it because you can work part-time. Then, when they ran out of money again, that was the person that cut again, so they let me go and they got no person. And since then, they've also let go of the library and the counselor's half-time position. But these are cuts that are going on.